The next day came. Samara lay in bed for a moment. However, she had already forgotten what had happened yesterday. She thought, I'd better get up. The family started the day, and Samara said to her sisters, girls, let's ask Mum and Dad if we can go to the meadow. Audrika was annoyed as she said, do you want to be surrounded by public schoolers? Samara thought, no, I want to go to the meadow because I like the flowers and the trees. And she said, I like the meadow. Clea could see some intensity building, so she thought, I need to find middle ground between these two. And she said, maybe we can be there for a little bit. We can go mountain sliding, which we all like. Audrika said, okay, let's ask Mum and Dad. The girls went to ask their parents if they could go outside. Samara said, Mum and Dad, can we go outside and go mountain sliding? Their mother said, yes. The girls grabbed some bags, then they left. After a little bit, they began to slide down mountains. The girls all forgot that they were once mad at each other. They had a lot of fun. Soon it got dark and they headed in. A few weeks passed, and the sisters were playing together. Christos called out, girls, come here. The girls all went to their dad. Once they were all there, he said, girls, your mother had to leave last night to help Grandma because she is sick. Samara interrupted, what is wrong? Is she going to be okay? Christos said, Samara, don't interrupt. She stopped. He said, you girls have to go and pick fruit and vegetables. I will be nearby hunting. Your mother is going to be gone for a while. After a second of pausing, Clea said, okay, we will. They all got ready to go, and then they went. The girls began to pick fruits and vegetables again. Not surprisingly, Samara began to talk to her sisters. They love their little sister, so they let her talk their ears off. As Samara was talking up a hurricane, Arethusa walked up to Samara and said in an annoyed tone, excuse me. Samara stopped talking and listened for a second. Once Arethusa was done talking, Samara said, what is it? She said, the king wants a way off of Mount Olympus. Can you make a staircase for him? Samara was excited. She said, yes. Arethusa walked away. Samara looked at her sisters and said, I am going to make a staircase for the king. Clea said, be careful. If you mess up, he may get mad. The enchanters and enchantresses are more powerful than us. Samara said, I got this, and she thought, I can show my older sisters, I can handle myself. She ran over to Mount Olympus. As soon as she was there, Samara made a staircase for the king. Samara thought, at least that turned out okay, now I will wait for him to come down. After a few minutes, no one came down. She thought, oh, I should probably tell him I made the staircase. How could he know if I did not tell him? She ran up the staircase to find him. Soon she made it to the top. She looked around. She thought, I had never been on Mount Olympus before. This is so cool. She looked around for a short second. Then she saw the king. She curtsied. He said, is the staircase ready? She hesitated from the shock of being in the presence of the king. However, she pulled it together and said yes. She hesitated. Then she said, yeah, the staircase is this way. She began to walk to the staircase. He walked behind her the whole time. Once she was down, she looked to see if he was still following her. He was. Once he was off the staircase, she asked, do you want me to get rid of the staircase? He said, well, I am pleased, Nymph. I was just going to ask you to do that. She got rid of the staircase. The sisters continued picking fruits and vegetables. As they were picking, the homeschoolers did not notice someone walking their way. The girls continued their picking. Then one nymph said Vesta to get Odrica's attention. Odrica said, what? She whispered, sit down, the queen is coming. She waved her hand to get Clea's attention. Clea said, what? Wide-eyed, Odrica said, or the queen is coming. They both sat down. Clea looked around and tried to whisper, where is Samara? Odrica's heart sank in her chest as she looked for her younger sister. Her sight was blurred, and everything felt as if it was slowed down. However, she did not spot her younger sister. Once the queen's back was turned to them, Odrica and Clea got up quietly to look for Samara. Samara wandered off a bit, then she went home and got her purse. Then she was talking to a swan. She said, they told me to leave my purse at home, but I went home and got it so I could show you this awesome glow-in-the-dark straw. Well, the swan said, hello, it is amazing. She put the straw back in her purse. Then she said, can humans talk to swans? The swan said, no. Samara said, what about? Then she was cut off with, they're over there. The queen stomped over to Samara. Samara turned around and saw the queen. She knew the law. She sat down quickly. Her heart punched her left rib cage multiple times as she waited for her to approach. Samara was short on breath. Every second felt like a year, and the swan quickly flew away after seeing the queen. Samara saw the queen. Then the queen said, "Stay away from my husband, you whore," and Samara was shocked. She jumped to her feet for some reason. She explained, "He wanted a staircase on Mount Olympus, so I did what he wanted. He is the king. He is in charge. I have to." Samara stopped for a second. Then she stuttered over her sentence. "If he wants stairs, I can to give him you no stairs. I do my best for you, my royal queen, your highness." The queen shouted in her face, "Words, words, words, you have way too many flying out of your mouth. Do you ever shut up?" Samara almost said yes. She stopped herself. Then she thought, if I say yes, then she will get pissed that I did not shut up. She nodded instead. The queen scowled at her. Samara shook in the queen's presence. The queen said, "Why curse you?" Samara knew the law. If she ran, her punishment would be worse, therefore she stayed still. The queen had a massive ball of magic in her hand as she finished her sentence, with the ability to only echo that last 3 words you hear. She hit Samara with it. Samara told herself, this is not happening. Samara was hit hard by the ball of magic, therefore she was laying on the ground when consciousness arrived back in her body. The queen said, "Now get out of here." Samara got up and said, "Out of here." She put her hand over her mouth. Wide-eyed, she could not believe that she was cursed. She thought, did I just echo her words? The queen yelled, "Get out of here before I curse you again." And Samara accidentally said as she ran off, "Curse you again." The queen thought, why is she not shutting up? She yelled, "Shut up, little nymph," and Samara bit her lips as hard as she possibly could while she ran. However, words escaped, like little nymph. Samara thought, hopefully she did not hear that, or I am dead. Samara ran as hard as she could. Soon she had to stop running. She was too tired. She lay on the ground and tried to catch her breath. Samara thought, hopefully I am far away from her. God, please don't let her come over to where I am, in Jesus' name. Amen. She began to cry as she lay as still as possible. As Samara continued to cry, she thought, I better stop crying before she hears me. However, I don't think I can control my emotions right now. I hate myself. Samara tried to stop crying as she lay there.